the crowd here. I'm sure we will have footage of these initial scenes very, very soon. Also, fantastic to hear that they're walking. I know this was a major concern after 736 days in captivity. You know, you just don't know. They've been in awful condition. Amazing, amazing to see this moment.
Right. All in good condition. It's quite possible they released the ones in best condition first, but certainly there was a lot of concern, even about some of the names on this list, that they were able to walk out on their own, apparently, to the Red Cross cause in good condition. And a year ago, I was with Gilboa Dalal, the guy's brother, at the Nova Festival. He told me how his brother was caught because he's like several of the people being released today. They stayed at the, for example, at the Nova Festival to rescue others, and that's what led to their capture. Several of the people being released today. Incredible now that they are basically back in the hands of Israel.
It's also amazing because I remember when we were broadcasting here some of the previous hostage release, unfortunately, ceremonies that Hamas put on, and we saw some of these same hostages that are being released now, that are now in the hands of the IDF, in these horrific conditions on that day, being used in propaganda videos, and it's just incredible and really closing a circle after 2 years of suffering. I think every single Israeli here feels what's going on the ground. We felt the pain of the last 2 years of these families who have suffered almost endlessly, and now to have at least 7 of them coming home, it's amazing. I mean, Yosef, what do you think of what we've seen here? Already cheers all around us.
Look, we've been cheering ourselves until they came back alive to us. Yep. We've been standing, cheering, taking photos. This is a historical moment after 2 years, and I just want to give a little bit about some of the hostages that I'm, remembering a little bit about, specifically about each and every one of them. I want to speak about Alona Al, that we need. First of all, he's an amazing, talented pianist that the world will see his talent once you go back and play the piano again. But I thought about him because I read the book of Eli Sharabi, and when Eli Sharabi and Ilya Cohen were released, he was left alone in the tunnels under the ground, and I'm thinking about him, that he stayed there by himself. Thinking now that he's above the ground, coming back to Israel. I mean, this is unbelievable to see that and to think about that. And Guy Gilboa Dalal, he was kidnapped from the Nova Party, but the sadistic Hamas, if you remember, they made him watch one of the releases of other hostages. That's how they're sadistic. And now today, he is finally out, and this is also amazing. And one last, and another hostage I want to talk about is, we need to understand that he was going through lynching by the terrorist organization Hamas and by what we call them the innocent Gazans. So to see him as well out, coming back to Israel free, this is a huge win.
Visuals of the Angst family waiting for Matan, and we've received confirmation that Eitan, Gali, Ziv, and Matan have officially been transferred to the International Red Cross. So they are now in the hands of the Red Cross and making their way back to Israeli territory. And we can hear the joy of the Angst family after 2 years of waiting and fighting to get Matan back. So really... and here we're seeing more visuals of other families waiting, excited, clapping, and hearing the news that some of the hostages have already been transferred. Eitan, Mor, Gali and Ziv Berman, and Matan Angst, they are the first hostages to have been transferred to the International Red Cross. And so we're also hearing reports that there will now be 2 batches of releases. 10 now, 10 later. And those in Gaza City, those that we've mentioned, they've already been handed over to the Red Cross. So we are waiting now to see the very first visuals of these hostages. They are now in the Red Cross's hands, and they are making their way to Israeli territory after 2 years of just absolute anguish and horrific conditions that they've been subject to. So we are waiting to see the first glimpses of these young men.
Their brothers as well, and I understand that at the hospital they're going to put them in the same room because they've been separated throughout this. Imagine, these are twin brothers, and they've been separated throughout this. They've been held hostage, but not together. Or they're envious because their son was a soldier who was killed looking for the hostages. And they really, they don't begrudge anybody, of course not, but you can imagine how you'd feel. It's like everybody is celebrating, and it's a day that they're...
Okay, so I want to give another update because now we're getting word that there are a total of 7 hostages that are now in the Red Cross's hands. We have Eitan Mor, Gali and Ziv Berman, Matan Angrest, Alon Ohel, Guy Gilboa Dalal, and Omri Miran. All of these 7 hostages have made it. Now we're seeing a picture of Alon Ohel on the screen, and we know that he has been severely injured. And there's reports that he's losing his eyesight because, of course, no one is caring for him. The Red Cross, we'll mention this again, they have not visited a single one of these hostages for 2 years. This is the first time they're even coming into contact with the hostages just to drive them from point A in Gaza to point B in Israel. So really a disgrace and a stain on the cross. We can see here more visuals. And, you know, this is a visual that we're seeing. Some of these are from proof of life videos that Hamas has shared, sort of psychological warfare videos. And of course, these are images. Here we see another of just the horrible conditions that these hostages